Welcome to the following presentation of the Adrenaline Sim Racing Association. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here with the ASRA NBC Cup Series at the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway, and it's time to get ready for the Great American Race by setting the starting lineup for the Daytona 500. We start things off with tonight's Xfinity Duels here from Daytona. I'm Jack Mitchell alongside Andrew Anderson and Eric Braxton in the booth. Guys, how we feeling about tonight?
I'm excited about tonight. This is going to be a really good race to watch.
Feeling really good. Good night for racing. About to have some fun.
That we are. So we got 32 laps in each dual race here at Daytona. Duel number 1 is going to set the inside row for the 500. Duel number 2 is going to set the outside. So let's go ahead and dive into our starting lineup for duel number 1. On the pole is going to be the 51 of Thomas Johnson, David Smith, and the 15 is to his outside. Next, it's Shazan Rana, and I'm going to butcher this pronunciation so hard, but we're going to try it anyway. Hannes Narager in row number 2. Jack Mitchell and Eric Braxton make up row number 3. Row number 4, it's Jay Mack in the 24 and Felipe Henriquez in the 97. Next up, it's Connor Hudson in the 49 and Anthony Foss in the 45. Wes Hayes in the 11 and Landon Mills in the 23 are in row 6. Row 7, it's Blaze McKinney in the 87 and Kevin Campbell in the 93. And Roberto Crowden Jr. rounds out the field in the 21 by himself in the back row. Should be a fun race. Not going to get the full pack racing that we're used to here at Daytona, but we're going to get something like that. We're going to get some fun draft action and nice little preview of what's to come at Daytona. So without further ado, let's go trackside and get those most famous words of motorsports. Engines have been fired here at Daytona. Thomas Johnson, the 51 Dodge Charger, is going to lead on the green. I think what's going to be pretty fun about the duels too is that this is going to be our first full introduction to the field as well, because when we ran the Clash at the LA Coliseum recently, that was only 14 cars of the whole 30 car field, but now we're going to see everybody in action at some point here this evening. So this will be an opportunity for you guys to see who the entire field is and pick out your favorite drivers if you're not competing.
A few familiar faces from the Clash in this first duel here.
Yeah, you got Dave Smith. He ran pretty well in the Clash for the most part. I can't say too many people ran that great during the Clash because of all the crashing that was happening in turn 4 during that race. But
yeah, with that gate like wide open, just catching people off guard.
That, and I would keep an eye on the 82, known to force 3 and 4 wide into a track that does not suit it well. So we'll see what happens with that one.
yeah, we had 4 wide racing at the LA Coliseum, which is for the uninitiated. Just don't try it. Don't even bother. It's not worth it.
The 2 flips.
Yeah, multiple flips on a quarter-mile track. Who would have thought? At Daytona, though, there's a lot more room. You can run 3 wide. Granted, there's not too much more room because there are super speedways out there that they would have an easier time. And we're going to go to more super speedways throughout the course of the season, such as Armory Digital, where you can run 4 wide, make that work for most of the time. Talladega, too, is known to have a lot of space. Daytona, it's a lot tighter, but you can make 3 wide work.
Of course, you have to right moves at the right time. Try not to wreck your car or anyone else's.
Absolutely. Pace car is going to dive on the pit road. Thomas Johnson in the 51 is going to lead them to the restart zone, and we are green in the first duel at Daytona.
Side by side, coming into turn number 1. Thomas Johnson trying to keep that lead.
Look at that.
15 of Smith.
Going to go 3 wide already.
Already 3 wide.
Don't want to get too aggressive too early. 32 laps. It's not a whole lot, but there's plenty of time to make moves. And this race is essentially for the pole position because this is going to set the inside row. We didn't really have a qualifying session that locked in the front row. This is just going to determine the pole sitter right away. Some more 3 wide mid-pack. Jack Mitchell's in the middle. 97's giving him a push.
04 looking on the inside.
I believe that was the 45 car that also shot to the low side in the back. As Shazan Rana assumes the race lead. Connor Hudson giving him a push on the bottom, or at least trying to. Connor Hudson likes Daytona. This is one of his better tracks, so I'd keep an eye out on that 49 car throughout the course of this event.
Pushing Shaz, that's the 24 of J Mac in the Oreo car. Trying to see if he can not only push the 04, but try to see if he can take over the leading spot in one of these other 2 lanes.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky to do that from the middle or the top. I think you can do it if you have enough of a push, but definitely the bottom is the more preferred line, so these guys are going to be kind of jockeying for position. As you can see, Connor Hudson kind of gave the 04 a bit of a shove to the high side.
Just battling and just trying to keep all these lanes behind him. Let's see how long he can keep that up for.
Yeah, this is good by the 04. He's doing that thing where you have to, like, hold the middle of the track. You're blocking both lines at once. 3 wide in the back. Dave Smith on the top, Blaze McKinney on the bottom. The 1 and the 87 are teammates, so I'd be curious to see if they might try to link up here and work together a little bit.
And teammates is something you do need in Daytona, regardless of team or manufacturer support. If you can get teammates and make everybody happy at Daytona, then you know you got a good drafting partner.
Absolutely. As the 24 J Mac goes to the low side in front of Connor Hudson, he's going to try and take the race lead away from Shazan Rana, and he's going to do that down the backstretch. He's not completely clear just yet.
Being pushed by the 49 of Connor Hudson. And more 3 wide racing back there as we're 2 for 2 up in the front.
Yeah, we are. Dave Smith on the high side of the racetrack. Come on 04.
So far coming into lap number 5. Pretty clean race so far.
Yeah, everybody's kept it clean. Nobody's really made like any hyper aggressive moves just yet. Still early on. Maybe we'll see some of those moves come toward the end of the race, but I feel like a lot of these guys just want to try and keep their race cars clean. You know, you don't want to tear up your race car right before the Daytona 500. These guys, you only get one backup car. If you wreck, you have to go to the back of the field.
Definitely seems like they're biding their time, especially with what you said. Don't want to ruin everything just before the Daytona 500.
Absolutely. You're going to get all 30 cars on track for the first time. There's going to be a lot of cars out there. There's going to be plenty of traffic. Looks like they're 3 wide, almost 2 rows deep in the back.
As the 24 Jack May continues his very impressive lead right now. Then you got the 04 and the 49 just keeping those lines in check.
Yeah, Connor Hudson's doing a pretty good job here at Daytona. Let's go on board with that 49 car. In a 2 wide battle right now with Shazan Rana. Doing a great job managing the traffic behind him. Seven laps complete. I believe we're actually on lap 7 right now. J Mac continuing to show the way here at Daytona.
And looks like finally the 3 wide situation in the back is kind of settling out. You got the 15 of Papa Dave still trying to find where he's trying to go. But I think that he's just going to try to duck into that middle, or not the middle, the top lane.
Yeah, Dave Smith has been kind of stuck on that high side for pretty much the whole entire race. He hasn't really made up any ground. Just been sort of stuck near the back of the field, near that, in that battle with the 97, and I forget who that was on the bottom already.
Yeah, I think that's a Felipe? Yeah, Felipe.
Felipe Henriquez. Is it pronounced Henriquez? I'm probably butchering that, but...
It is Henriquez, yes.
Okay.
You do have it correct.
Good to know.
Well, it looks like we finally got our 2 lanes of racing, all of them being led by the 24 of Jack May.
J-Mac in the 24.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Look, it's a long season. We're still figuring out most of these drivers' names. We're going to probably butcher a few of them, but we'll get better as the year goes along.
Of course, these cars looking beautiful under the lights here at Daytona.
Absolutely. Love the way these next-gen cars look at Daytona. And that's what we'll see in the 500, too. They'll be under the lights again, so... The nighttime racing, it's a good chance for these guys to get used to what the environment's going to be like. J-Mac kind of opening a little bit of distance between himself and the two cars right behind him. That could be a little bit troublesome because you never want to get too far out in front at Daytona or you're going to be a sitting duck. There's way too much draft. These guys are going to catch back up, and already Connor Hudson's starting to make up some ground being pushed by Blaze McKinney.
Well, we got one looking low.
Yeah, we do. That's the 45 of Anthony Foss. Single car entry out of Full Send Racing.
And he's going to go 3 wide with the 87 in the middle, Blaze McKenzie. See what he tries to do there.
Hasn't really made up...
Making it a little... Sorry.
No, you're good. Hasn't really made up too much ground just yet.
But he's trying to take that second spot from Connor Hudson.
Keeping it clean. Caution-free so far. Through 10 laps. Or 9.5 laps. About to finish lap 10.
Field making it interesting a third of the way through.
Yeah, we've had some good 3-wide racing in the back. Look at that again. We're 3x3 back here.
Here comes the 21 of Roberto Crown Jr. Is that his name?
Yeah, Roberto Crown Jr.
Make
his way up to the front.
Yeah, in second. Let's see if he tries to win this thing, get the pole for the 500.
Yeah, Roberto Crown Jr. started off pretty well in the clash, I think.
That being led by the 23 of Landon Mills and the 93 of Kevin Campbell.
Yeah, the 51, I think, was getting a little bit loose between some of those guys in the middle. It looks like he held on to it, though. They were getting pretty close to each other in that turn. But everybody holds on to it. Just jockeying for position on the bottom. That's where you want to be. That's the preferred line. But then it feels like when these guys get up to the race lead, you can see J-Mac has just maintained it by running basically the middle throughout most of this race. 3 wide behind them.
Here comes Crown Jr. pushing Mac. Let's see if he tries to do any form of move to try to get past him.
21 up to the high side. Kevin Campbell now on the 90 and the 93 on the bottom on the Coast Guard Ford Mustang.
Or 3 wide action back there, but
this battle for the lead, it's getting pretty interesting here. 21's giving him a huge push, but eventually he's going to have enough momentum to push his way to the race lead.
well, that's happening. Looks like the rest of the pack is trying to find their line, find their center, try to see what's going on back there.
Oh, Kevin Campbell made a dive to the low side. He's doesn't really have enough of a push, but he thinks he might have enough momentum to get by the 21. And he forces him to the high side. What a move by the 93. Now here comes Eric Braxton in the 82, giving him a push. And does Braxton want to stay with him, or is he going to jump out of line too and try and force it 3 wide? Now he's going to stay in line for right now. J-Max still the leader.
Second.
Yeah, that was... He's still thinking about it. Look at him. He's trying to make a move on the low side.
His teammate right behind him, Felipe, both Eric and Felipe are part of the same team. Felipe looked like he tried to get on the inside there.
The 2 Speed performance cars have linked up. We'll see what those Mercedes cars can do on the bottom. This is not your typical NASCAR series. We've got more than just the usual 3 manufacturers here. And we've got, in some cases, we've got different makes of the same manufacturers.
Gonna go low of Kevin Campbell. See if that does anything.
No,
not enough.
82 was almost below the yellow line. He was getting aggressive, trying to make that push to the bottom.
We're still very much so getting to the middle of the race.
Again, still everybody keeping it clean, keeping it caution-free so far. As we're on lap 15. Again, you're just trying to keep your cars clean for the Daytona 500. Would not be surprised if we did end up having an incident-free race. Of course, anything can happen within these next few laps, but
as of right now, it's just...
Yeah, as of right now, everybody's kind of keeping it clean, as looks like the 11 car of Wes Hayes is starting to lose the draft. He's sort of the first casualty of that. And here we go. We've got green flag pit stops. How about this? We haven't seen any of that.
Oh, man.
As of late, as of the clash.
It looks like the 24 gave up the lead.
That would be the case. Blaze McKinney's on pit road. Dave Smith's on pit road. J Mac. Can't see anybody else for the moment on pit road, but...
But that gave a huge, huge lead to the Crown Royal car. The Chevy.
We'll see if they decide to make their pit stops this time by, or if they keep it going for another lap. We'll keep an eye on Roberto Crown Jr. because he's currently the race leader, but the 24 car, I think, was the first one on the pit road. And yeah, here comes a whole bunch of takers on the pit road.
There we go, yep.
3 cars still stay out. Jack Mitchell, one of them. I think the 23 was another one. So we'll keep an eye on these cars for the moment. And then we'll go back to those 3 that just stayed out. 21 was the leader off pit road. You can see some of those cars on the way distance that stayed out. Four tire stops for these guys.
Fast pit stops is what you need at Daytona, but make sure you stay with everybody, because if you lose the draft, good luck getting it back.
So I think J Mac right now, assuming he makes it back to the line, he would be the leader. Those 3 cars that stayed out that last time by are coming in. Yeah, the 45 is one of them. I think the 23 and the 1 were the other 2 that stayed out. So I believe this right now would be the battle for the race lead if J Mac is able to get back onto the track and stay ahead. Oh, they're getting racy, though. The 15 of Dave Smith is trying to force his way past Mac into the race lead. Are they going to get by these cars, though, that came off of pit road just now? What a move by David Smith to try and force his way into the race lead. Get by the 82, they'll get by the 9, or at least they should get by the 9, but the 9 should be a little bit more up to speed here, but they're going to probably wad up together before they get anywhere near the 21, so I believe the 21 is going to hold on to the race lead. Well, the 23 is still being scored the leader. Those are going to fly by the 3 cars that just came off pit road. There's the 23 right there on the backstretch. So this should effectively be the race lead right here. The 15 of David Smith is going to get a big push from J Mac. And they're going to be lined up together. We'll see how the field is scored this time by. Eric Braxton wants to look to the high side, I think, but he's going to keep it in line. Yeah, the 15. So, yeah, this was, in fact, the battle for the lead. So, Smith, the leader. Mack in second. Crown Jr. in third. And you've got the 9. I'm going to butcher his name so many times.
I would attempt to say Hans Norriger. I don't know if that's correct either.
I believe he sent us a pronunciation of his name. Hans Neyrager is what the booth is telling us.
Okay. Well, looks like we have a pretty separated field, from what it looks like.
Yeah, those cars definitely got a whole lot more spread out as those pit stops went through. Some aggressive moves by the 15 of David Smith to assume the race lead, but I think Roberto Crown Jr. is going to be pushing it.
Roberto's got a fast Chevy, and the 9 is pushing him in the General Electric Toyota.
I think that's an Alfa Romeo.
Oh, we got Alfa Romeos. That's cool.
Isn't that the only one in the field?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Good diversity among manufacturers here. Just a single Alfa Romeo in the field.
Doing pretty good.
Indeed. Challenging for the lead here. He's giving a big push to the 21 so far.
And back there pushing the 15 is the 24 who led like a majority of this race, I'm pretty sure so far.
I'm going to jump back through the rest of the field really quick. Let's see where some of these other guys are.
Got a 3-pack right there. This is the 04,
the 51 and the 11. This is the back of the field that came off of pit road. Wes Hayes, I know, lost the draft a little bit. And then you got 3 cars by themselves. Jack Mitchell, Connor Hudson, and Anthony Foss. I wonder, though, if these 2 small groups of 3 can eventually catch up. Because
they cooperate enough, they should be able to.
Yeah, if they stay in line, they don't really get too racy. They could form a pack and maybe work their way back up through the rest of the field. But they are getting a little bit racy. I think they were side by side as I cut back to the lead pack. And we've got a lead change. Hans Neuriger gonna pass the 21. The 21 all by himself on the top 2. He's not gonna have any help. He's gonna get freight trained here as this bottom line. Whole bunch of cars gonna fly by him.
We're 10 to go.
We'll get an overhead view of these guys.
A little bit of 3 wide action.
Yeah, now I think is when they're starting to get racy. We're gonna, I believe, have 10 to go when we get to the stripe this time. And now would be the time if you were to try and make a move and squeeze out the race win. This would be it, as Blaze McKinney in the 87 is challenging for the race lead at the moment.
On top of that, make sure you know who your friends are, know who your enemies are, who you want to push, who you don't want to push.
We discussed the manufacturer disparity in the field here. I think that's the word I'm looking for. We've got a total of 6 makes and 8 models in the field. So we've got Chevy has the Impala and the Camaro. Toyota has the Camry and the Supra. We've got a Dodge Charger, Ford Mustang, Alfa Romeo. I don't know how to pronounce the name of that Alfa Romeo, and I'm not going to try. And then, of course, the Mercedes AMG GT.
Looks like Blaze McKinley is trying to take away the lead from Hines in the 9 car. Let's see if he does.
He's doing what he can. He was holding off multiple lines at once for the time being. But it looks like he's just going to stay in line for the time being. They're going to be side by side for the race lead. Down the backstretch.
Crown Jr. trying to get a 3rd lane started. Looks like the 93 and the 87 are going to pick up both of them, leaving the 24 seemingly empty on the middle lane.
Oh, could they get 3 wide for the race lead? No, Kevin Campbell, he probably thought about it for a second, but didn't really go for it. Didn't really have the push to go for it either.
Nope.
So this is basically it. This is pretty much the path that we're going to stay on for the rest of the race unless anything might happen. Wonder, too, if maybe they come to pit road before the end of it. Don't really know. I think they should be good to make it for the rest of the race on fuel, though. We went to about halfway before anybody else pitted, so... Enriquez in the back trying to make something happen, but he's going to stay with his teammate for now. So we'll see if those speed performance cars can stick together. Only a few more laps to go. You're going to make a move to win the race. We're getting into that territory. And Kevin Campbell again was looking 3 wide on the bottom, but he stays in line for now.
He's starting to risk. It's a high risk, high reward situation. You can either get out of line and try to take the lead, or get out of the line and lose the draft.
And the other problem, of course, is if you end up crashing, if you make too aggressive of a move, you could end up crashing, and you're starting in the back for the Daytona 500. So you want to be careful. It's a calculated risk. You want to be careful about it because you don't want to have to end up bringing out the backup car.
Very much so, but with the bottom lane being preferred, Kevin Campbell could make a very risky move and try to win this thing altogether to get the pole for the 500.
The thing is, though, that Blaze McKinney in the 87, he's holding his line. He's not exactly running the bottom of the track. He's more running like a combination of the middle and the bottom. He's sort of Notice how he's like staying
Right
above
there.
the line, but he's not really trying to make a move to jump up in front of the 9 car.
Yep.
He's just sort of maintaining where he is. Kevin Campbell giving him a push so far on the bottom, but they've stayed in line for the most part. Oh, here we go. Here's the move.
He's looking.
This is it. 3 wide for the race lead. Blaze McKinney in the middle. He has no push. Kevin Campbell has the preferred line on the inside. Is Roberto Crown Jr. going to keep giving him a shove?
And it seems like he will.
Yeah, he is.
Campbell to the lead.
It's going to work. Kevin Campbell in the Coast Guard Ford Mustang is going to take the race lead. The 2 Chevy Impalas are side by side now. Campbell washes up to the high side, though. I don't know if that's where he wanted to be.
Oh, and here comes the 21. A push from the 82.
Yeah, here come those Speed performance cars on the bottom working together. Everybody side by side. Only a few more laps to go. Still 3 wide in the back. Hans was the one who was on the short end of the stick there. He just ended up getting stuck on the high side. Didn't really have any push because those inside lines are sort of more the preferred lines for these drivers in the front pack.
Well, the 21
Braxton looking on the inside.
Yeah, here comes Braxton. I was about to say we should probably go back through the rest of the field just to get a quick one last heat check in the rest of the field before we get through. But now, as I say that, this battle's getting dicey. Roberto Crown Jr. has the race lead for the time being, but he's all by himself. He doesn't want to get too far out in front. 3 laps to go here at Daytona in our first of 2 Xfinity Duels. Reminder, this is the race that will set the inside row for the Daytona 500, so you win, you have the pole. And
like, the 97 is going to push his teammate just all the way, and hopefully one of those 2 cars can get the win here with the teamwork that they're putting in together.
Yeah, this is definitely some good teamwork by those 2 Speed performance cars. They're kind of the only 2 teammates right now, at least definitely in this front pack, that have stayed together. The 93 and the 15 are also teammates, but they haven't really been able to stick together as the race has gone along. So we're going to have to see if they can maybe try and find a way to get together, but we only have 2 laps to go. They're running out of time to make something happen.
Kevin Campbell back to try to challenge the lead.
Oh yeah, he's gonna take a look here on the bottom.
There it is.
Could this be the move? Do you want to make it now or do you want to wait? Here comes Eric Braxton on the bottom. He wants to give him a push. They're gonna see the white flag this time by. Oh, is he gonna look 3 wide? The 93 shoots up the track. The 82 forced his way on the inside.
Pushes the 93.
He doesn't have his teammate anymore though. The 97's still on the top. Coming out of 4, white flag this time by. Roberto Crown Jr. in the 21 is your race leader. He's jumping out really far in front. Is that the move here, or is there going to be a push from the bottom? Are they going to look 3 wide though? Yeah, they are. I think that's Landon Mills in the 23 forcing the issue on the bottom. They're getting really close together though. That's kind of letting the 21 pull away. They're not really working together. Can anybody make a move on the backstretch? This is their last chance. Through 3 and 4, this is going to be the last chance they have to make a pass. Oh, here comes the 82. He's gaining a lot through this corner. He's kind of got the push from both lanes. Isn't going to be enough, though.
Bigger push, but
I don't think he's going to have enough time. I think he's just going to be out of time. Coming to the checkered flag, it's going to be the 21 of Roberto Crown Jr. winning duel number 1 here at Daytona.
Did really good with lane management. It just kept everybody behind him while everybody was fighting for second.
What a race by Eric Braxton, too. What a race by Kevin Campbell. A lot of those guys finishing near the front of the field. That was some great pack racing in the front.
Good job to Roberto from last place to first.
I didn't even think about that. He started dead last, and he worked his way all the way up to the front. It's basically what we say about Daytona all the time. If you're in it, you can win it. and Roberto Crown Jr. with a fantastic job holding off the push from just about every car that worked their way up to the front. And whenever he lost the lead, he quickly worked his way back in front. So good performance out of that Crown Royal Chevrolet Impala. And you can see the field. I mentioned earlier those 2 packs of 3 cars each. It seemed like they did work their way back together. They were kind of mashed together at the front of the field. Great job by all these cars. Really good stuff. Really good action.
Kudos for keeping it clean, too. The whole field, no DNFs, no nothing.
Very clean, very consistent. Amazing job by every driver here as we're going to get ready for the second duel.
Yeah, the second duel will be coming up shortly in just a few moments. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at our finishing results from duel number 1. Let's go ahead and take a bit of a closer look at our results from Xfinity Duel number 1. Roberto Crown Jr. in the number 21 car, starting dead last in the duel, but he ends up taking the win. He'll start on the pole for the Daytona 500. Eric Braxton in second, Landon Mills third, followed by Kevin Campbell, J Mack, Felipe Henriquez, Hans Neurager, and Blaise McKinney, followed by David Smith and Anthony Foss to round out the top 10. Shortly after that, we've got Thomas Johnson, Jack Mitchell, Connor Hudson, Shazan Rana, and Wes Hayes round out the field. So that's going to be your front, or excuse me, not your front row, but your inside lane for the Daytona 500. Pretty, I don't want to say uneventful race, but it definitely could have been a lot more action-packed, though. At the same time, most of the field did keep it together for most of the race. They just sort of stayed as one pack together. They didn't really do a whole lot. Pit stops are ultimately what decided the race. Roberto Crown Jr. definitely got the better of those. He had the right strategy. He was the first car on pit road, and he took the lead and never looked back. So a great race by that 21 team. You got the other half of the field on their way out to the track soon. Duel number 2 on its way right after this. We'll be back to the Daytona International Speedway. The coconuts are migrating.
Not a real man unless you get up at 4 in the morning, 1 and 2 in the morning, go to work and work 70,000 hours.
I want you guys to think with your underdeveloped frontal lobe for a second.
War Thunder players do not have the object permanence of a shrimp.
The Flag Time Podcast, the automotive service podcast where we talk a lot about not that. Audio episodes out on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon Music. Video episodes exclusively on Patreon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daytona International Speedway. We're here in the middle of duel weekend for the ASRA NBC Cup Series Daytona 500. Jack Mitchell here alongside Eric Braxton and Andrew Anderson. And now Kevin Campbell joins us in the booth for duel number 2. Kevin, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Duel 1 was fantastic, very action-packed, lots of hard racing, but they managed to keep it clean for the whole race, so hopefully we'll see if Duel 2, these guys can keep it going the same way.
Absolutely. They, we talked about it at multiple times. We're probably going to bring it up a few more times throughout the day that you don't want to wreck up these cars right before the Daytona 500. If you crash, you have to go to the back of the field regardless of where you finish. So a lot of these guys are going to try and keep it clean because there's also the factor that there is no like automatic front row person. Like there was no qualifying session that guaranteed anybody locked in on the front row. We know that's typical of how NASCAR works. We don't do that in the ASRA. You're racing your way in every time. So, or at least for the Daytona 500. So it's going to be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys do in duel number 2. So with that being said, let's go ahead, go trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports once again.
Drivers, start your engines.
Engines have been fired up for the second of our 2 Xfinity duels here at the Daytona International Speedway as the cars make their way around the track. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting lineup for duel number 2. On the pole, it's the number 8 car of PJ Payne, Andrew Anderson, the 31, to his outside.
On row 2, we've got the 43 of Henry Tabor and the 46 of Reese Kupski on the outside.
Row 3.
Row 3, 52 of Nicholas Michelini, and on the outside, 68 of Alexander Schumacher.
On row number 4, you got the 99 of Bryce Mann and the number 40 of Ryan Yu.
Row number 5, it's the number 91 of Tyson Gifford and the 29 of Wyatt Dooling.
In row 6, we've got the number 3 of Connor DaCosta on the inside. And on his outside, he will have the 57 of Ben Fior.
Row 7, we've got the 07 of Blake Garcia, and on the outside, the 20 of Brody Kupski.
And rounding out everybody on the field, the number 27 of Chase Perrin.
Connor DaCosta, your Clash winner, starting P11. Of course, that race was a whole lot more chaotic than the first duel race has been. We'll see if we get any cleaner action in Duel 2, just like we did in Duel 1.
I'm just happy Daytona doesn't have any open gates on the outside wall to flip anybody over.
That's
I'm
true.
in agreement with that.
They would definitely find it.
They found it plenty of times in the Clash, but hopefully this time. So far, nobody's really had any kind of issues. No real wrecks. Nobody beating and banging or anything like that. It's been good, hard, clean pack racing here at Daytona.
And one of the biggest factors is making the right move at the right time to see if you can win this thing, or you might wreck your car trying to win as they're coming into the trioval.
That they are. PJ Payne, the number 8 Ford Mustang, is going to lead them to the green flag through the restart zone, and we are racing in Duel 2 at Daytona.
And of course, with Duel 1, the inside lane is the preferred lane, and he's going to get a big start. Going to go immediately try to block the top lane from doing anything.
Yeah, we saw plenty of that in the first race. The car is running up right around the middle of the track so that they kind of block both lanes at the same time. That's sort of what PJ Payne is already doing. Like I mentioned earlier.
Shades of Brett Keselowski trying to be the Pied Piper, control both lanes at the same time.
Again, like I mentioned earlier, this is another chance for some of the drivers that you might not have seen before in the Clash. You can get to see them for the first time, like such as the 8 and the 43, the 52, the 99 has been in the Clash, but we'll sort of go through some of these names as we continue along in this race.
Speaking of the 52 and 99, we've got Bryce Mann pushing Nick Michelini to the lead.
And Nick Michelini, we'll see if he leads this lap, and he just barely does.
Reese Kupski went really high and kind of broke the momentum for the back half of the top line right there at the start-finish line. And now they're 3 wide in the middle.
3 wide for a moment, almost potentially 4 wide there for a second, but they settled out back to 3 wide pretty quickly. And the 46 of Reese Kupski, we saw that can hurt drivers. Like Dave Smith was stuck on the outside lane through pretty much the entirety of the first duel. He's not really by himself right now, though, but if Reese Kupski stays in the top side for pretty much the whole duel, as maybe we had some contact between the 07 and the 68.
Looks like we got Brody Kupski and Chase Parent trying to make that inside lane work to try to steal away that inside line up towards the front. And it looks like it's worked. They've got Blake Garcia pinched in the middle with very little help.
Bryce Mann now going to have a look at the race lead on the bottom side, getting a nice push from Tyson Gifford. And they are going to split Nick Michelini 3 wide. Michelini's got some help, though. Andrew Anderson giving him a push. We'll see what Bryce Mann does as he takes the race lead.
3 lanes across the entire track here at Daytona.
I guess Bryce Mann thought that I guess Mann thought that the upper 2 lanes were the ones that had the better push, because he went almost all the way to the high side to try to hold on to the race lead. They're really bunched up. Way more aggressive early pack racing in this one.
Tyson Gifford trying to take the lead away from Bryce Mann, but that's not going to be the case, as Bryce Mann just gets a really good push from Nicholas Michelini.
Off the trioval, Gifford looks to have his nose just inside of Mann's quarter, just enough to keep him from coming down the block. We'll see if it's enough for him to get a momentum ride.
He's holding on right now.
Around off of turn 2.
And as we mentioned, the winner of the Clash, Connor DaCosta, he is already up there. Battling for about maybe 5th place, I want to say. 4th?
Yeah, around there.
Still early on, though. 3 by 3 in the back of the pack, by the way.
The high line is holding much stronger than in duel number 1.
So far, so good on that high line.
The Bryce Mann seems to be leading this thing, taking charge, keeping everybody behind him, especially when the 91 had a nose in there. He seems to just be controlling both lanes.
PJ Payne, the pole sitter for this race, has already fallen back to 8th place. Or at least that's where he scored the last time by, but he's definitely below 8th place now.
Looking almost like a flock of birds making a V shape towards the front. I've got 3 wide in the back, and then 2 wide, and then we've got Bryce Mann up head at point.
Good run right now for Chase Parent. He started last. He's already made his way to the bottom. That's exactly where you want to be. You've got the preferred line. You've got the push. You're giving a bit of a push to the car in front. Keep it rolling on the bottom. You never know.
Something to keep an eye on. In about 10 laps, we should be seeing pit stops if it's anything like duel number 1. I'll have to see who goes with who and when they decide to duck off to pit road, as that could shape out the rest of this race.
Yeah, we saw about halfway through Duel 1, maybe around lap 17 is when these cars pitted for the first and the only time. So only one pit stop is going to be good enough to get these guys to the end of the race, but it's just a matter of when do they decide to duck down on the pit road.
Side by side throughout the field. 2 lanes.
Yeah, this is
Let's
just...
see if any of them have anything for Bryce Mann. He just controls the front of this pack without a single problem.
Yeah, this is classic Brad Keselowski Daytona racing. The whole field 2x2x2x2 behind him, and then one car out in front running the middle, being able to hold off both lanes effectively.
If it's anything like Duel 1, green flag pit stops might shake up this pecking order a little bit, though.
Absolutely.
Exactly right, Eric. And it looks like the bottom line might be a little faster, but I think Mann's just going to be able to slot down in front of them all the way until we have pit stops.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the strategy is going to be for him. Only Adrenaline Motorsports car in this field so far. Jack Mitchell and Blaise McKinney were both involved in the first duel.
Connor DaCosta looking inside of the 91, but I don't think he has the
look at
help
Chase
or the push.
Parent on the
Here
bottom
comes
of the
Chase
track,
Parent.
making it 3 wide back there.
Brody Kupski shoved into the middle, but he might have some help. No help at all. As Wyatt Dooling looks like he's looking down in there, as well as Ryan New. PJ Payne kind of right in the middle between.
It's a bit of an interesting formation. He's running by himself in the middle. There are 2 cars in front of him. There are 2 cars behind him, but he doesn't really have like too much help.
And every time these cars make a move on each other, Bryce Mann looks in the mirror and smiles, as the more they work together, or work against each other rather, easier it makes his job.
Yeah, that pretty much helped Roberto Crown Jr. in the first duel. He was able to hold off everybody because they were basically doing exactly that. They got so racy against each other that they didn't really have time to fight for the lead when you're so busy racing the competition. If you work together, you push for the lead, you have a shot. But if not, well, something like this is going to happen.
And don't look now, but this field's built up to 3 wide for most of the pack deep.
Again, 3x3x3 basically throughout the whole back of the field. A lot more aggressive. It's still relatively clean for the most part for a dual race. Again, as we've mentioned countless times, and we'll probably mention it once again, you got to finish this race clean if you want to keep your starting position. If you crash in this race at all, you're starting the Daytona 500 in the
Don't
back.
look now, but we got Tyson Gifford looking to the inside.
Yeah, Tyson Gifford
for the lead.
is going to have a little bit of a push here on the bottom.
He looks like he has the help now from Connor DaCosta.
Oh, is DaCosta maybe going to look 3 wide? No, he's going to fall in line
Gifford
for now.
throws down and blocks.
And the 99, nobody to help him. But I'm here. 57 going to help the 99 in that spike ball.
We'll have to see if these guys don't build too much separation, because then the field will just come back and swallow them.
And they keep it out in front for the time being. Tyson Gifford going to be your new race leader. Connor DaCosta, though, he's got a push on the bottom. So we'll
see if Blake Garcia makes a move. We got Alexander Schumacher looking inside of Garcia. And yes, he will take that point.
They're getting real racy here.
Yeah, they're a lot more bunched up, a whole lot more 3 wide action in this duel so far. About maybe 5, 6, 7 laps away from pit stops. Are going to be on lap 11 this time by.
Keep your eye on the cars in the back of the pack. As pit stops come, they usually duck off first, and last time that was exactly how Connor DaCosta, or the winner, was able to get the spot.
That was Roberto Crown Jr. Yeah, he was the one who took advantage off of the race off pit road. Okay, this is something that Tyson Gifford likes to see right now because he's all by himself and everybody is just about 3 wide right behind him. That's going to benefit him a lot for the time being, but you don't want to get too far out in front.
So far, just really clean, really consistent racing among everybody. And
It's a good warm-up so far for half the field. Again, 15 cars in each race. We'll get the full 30-car field on track together for the first time.
Gifford's getting pretty far out in front of that pack. This could come back to bite him.
looks like DaCosta and Schumacher closing it to 2 lanes.
Schumacher's got a big run right now on the bottom. And Ryan New is also giving them a bit of a push there. We're still kind of 3x3x3 throughout most of the field here.
Bryce Mann closing in on the rear bumper of Connor DaCosta. He might be able to give him a push, but it looks like it's stalled out just a little bit as that high line has a lot less momentum than the middle lane and then the bottom line.
And Chase Perrin, who started at the back, is already falling right back to the back of the field again. He hasn't lost the draft or anything. I don't really think anybody's at risk of losing the draft, especially the way this race has been going so far. But you want to stay on the bottom. That's your preferred line. If you wash up to the top and you stay there for too long, again, we saw it happen with David Smith in the last race. He was just stuck on the high side for so much, and he never really gained any ground. Tyson Gifford remains the race leader. Ryan New, he's got a bit of a push. There's Wyatt Dueling in the 29 on the bottom of the track.
Alex
Schumacher's starting to close that gap. He might be able to duck to the inside on the exit of the tri-oval up here.
Yeah, he needs enough.
See if he makes the move. 91 went with him to the bottom. Now these two
push
cars
him really
all
far out.
far out in front by themselves.
Here goes Schumacher
Yeah, he's
trying
gonna have
to
a
look
look.
inside to make his move. He's
Off
got
of
the
turn
quarter.
2. Does he have
Side
the
by
push?
side for the lead.
I think he's going to get the push from the bottom, but we'll see what happens because the high side also tends to work in the backstretch. Could he do some side drafting here, though, and maybe take advantage in turn 3 and 4?
The high line's
look like
definitely
he can make it
packed more
stick.
tightly.
Yeah, but Ryan New is closer. Oh, Gifford couldn't make the block. He looked low. He thought about it, but he couldn't quite get in front of the 68. Alexander Schumacher's got a push.
We're entering the pit cycle this time by.
They're all staying out.
Tyson Gifford is going to stay out in front for now.
Yeah, they're both side by side right now. Neither of them clear of each other.
If I'm a crew chief, I'm looking at lap 17 for the best time to duck down onto pit road. Make us have just enough fuel to get to the end of this race. As we've got the field's mostly 2x2, but looks like Ben Fiore is stuck in the middle with no help.
Ben Fiore, the only car that really doesn't have too much of a push. 91 again.
We've got four wide.
Oh, yeah, we almost have 4 wide in the back.
Almost
Oh, we
four
are
wide.
going to have
If
4
McElhaney
wide.
get it to push.
4 wide.
Oh, man. And here
and
come the
they make
pit
it work.
stops.
There we go.
First pitters, we've got Nick Michelini, Henry Tabor, and Tyson Gifford coming in.
Tyson Gifford, the first one on pit road.
We'll have to see if they're in too early.
We'll keep an eye on
They
these
might have
pit
no help for the
stop
win, for the
drivers
end of
for-
this race.
That beautiful.
Tyson Gifford into his stall. He had a good run up to this point.
Beautiful Ken Block looking inspired car.
Yeah, Henry Tabor with a nice Ken Block tribute on his machine. We'll keep an eye on the race leader, Tyson Gifford, or at least he was the race leader last time by.
Connor DaCosta took the lead as they ducked onto pit road.
Let's find out where Connor DaCosta is on track. It
They
looks
come
like he
off of
might
pit
be
road now.
making his way onto pit road. A
And here we
whole
come.
bunch of takers. Reese Kepsky stayed out. I couldn't quite tell who else was staying out. But
Connor
DaCosta
DaCosta,
in the position you want
Bryce
to be in.
Mann, Wyatt Dueling, Ben Fiore. Let's see if we can cycle through them a little bit.
Bryce Mann, of course, has a pretty good advantage. So does Andrew Anderson.
Andrew
though.
Anderson.
Anderson has, I think that's the second pit stall.
He's got a great stall for this race.
Keep an eye on him and see what happens there. But I think the
Like
3 car should be the first one off pit road. So let's go ahead and find the 68 car.
Alexander Schumacher holding the lead. See who else he's got with him.
These 3
Here come
stay
the last
out.
of the takers, except for Alexander Schumacher. This is a bold strategy, guys. I don't know if this is going to play out how he wants it to.
He almost made
He's gonna be
contact with the
last comer to pit
43.
road. We almost had a LePage moment there.
Yeah, that was close.
These guys are getting close.
Gotta be very careful making your way off of pit road.
You can see why NASCAR now makes them go all the way around to the backstretch. That looks dangerous.
So I
The
think
Schumachers should be coming in this time by.
I believe the 3 car will be the race leader. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know if the 8 pitted or not.
It looks like, I think PJ Payne was among the first of the takers.
Yeah, here comes
Here
Shuey to
comes
pit road.
Schumacher down to pit road. I don't see anyone else ducking down, so yeah, I think PJ Payne is going to become the race leader if I'm not mistaken.
Got the 07.
He is coming off of pit road, though. He's slow right now. He's still working his way up to speed, so... The 8 car is right behind him, so I think Tyson
That's
Gifford
right.
is in position to take it away right
That's
here.
what it looks like. Tyson Gifford will cycle to the front.
Yeah, he will. So Tyson Gifford's going to be the new race leader.
These cars are super spread out. We'll have to see if they get bunched up coming to the end of this race. We've got about 13, 14 laps left in this one.
Something like that. And it's an impressive job from Tyson Gifford. Really good pit strategy because he was the leader when they first came to pit road. He was the first car on the pit road, and he cycles out as the race leader. So that team did a great job knowing when to pit, and the strategy just played perfectly into his hands. They're going to fly right by Shuey here.
43 and the 3 all came pit together here.
Oh, I don't know if that was the
Ooh.
move from the 43. That was a little risky.
Ooh, really close.
Yeah, they're spreading out. We've got more cars bunched up in that second pack behind them. It looks like they'll probably close in, and then those 2 cars tailing them are going to join in. We should have these front 3 cars. Oh, he's way too far out.
Yeah, he's really, really far out. The 43 and the 3, they're going to be side by side, though. That's not going to really help them too much in terms of gaining.
That's going to make it a whole lot easier for the pack behind them because they get a big draft off of them being side by side. And yeah, here they come.
These 3 really need to
PJ
work
Payne,
together.
Ryan New, Brody Kupski, and all. Closing in, that Delta is coming down.
PJ Payne being pushed by Ryan New.
Now they've strongly got that second draft.
These cars being scored 4th and
He's
5th
back
at the
forward,
moment.
getting in line. And that will make them go a lot faster.
Here they come.
Here goes Henry Tabor looking for second place, but he has absolutely no help into the corner. Just running on momentum only,
think
and here comes the pack.
Right now, he's running on momentum, but you got to keep an eye on that 8 car. That 8 car is going to be... Oh, the 8 car decided to push DaCosta. Not quite sure who that's going to help out here.
This pack's going to have a big draft coming off of it. That extra pack behind them, about a straightaway back, might be able to catch just enough air if they can get organized.
Yeah, that pack near the back of the field, that was something that we talked about a lot during the first duel race, was that these guys who were at the back of the field, they were sort of split into 2 packs of 3. This pack is a lot closer together. These 5 cars right now can form up and start making their way up the field. The 07 is on an island by himself right now. And
those 5 cars back there are going to have to get single file, otherwise they're just going to have no chance of catching them.
In the meantime, Connor DaCosta has taken the race lead away from Tyson Gifford. He got the push from the bottom, and he's going to...
Keep an eye on Andrew Anderson looking low under the 40. He might have something come to the end of this race here in 11 laps.
Maybe. Keep an eye out. There's still plenty of time for any of these guys to make the moves that they want to make. Packed house here at Daytona.
Still too wide.
Love to see all this fan support here at this track. Everybody's excited.
3 wide at the back of this thing.
43 making a move to the lead.
3 car washed up the track.
Make it a whole lot easier for any cars behind. But the more cars in a pack, the faster they're going to go. As Michelini looks to be the only one on the bottom line.
No one goes with him.
He's kind of making it work. He shoved the 31.
A little bit of 3 wide.
Shoved the 31 to the high side of the track. They're going to be running 3 wide back here.
Michelini should have a run coming into the tri-oval here.
All this side-by-side racing, it might help those 5 cars in the back.
Oh, absolutely it will.
It's like it is. They're entering the tri-oval.
Yeah, they're going to gain a little bit.
You can watch that Delta. That number 27 car is leading that second pack. As these laps tick by, they look to be closing that gap down.
Still 3 wide in the back of this first pack.
5 seconds back that last time by.
3 cars now doing the Brad Keselowski, just standing out in front of the middle of these packs, 2x2 behind him for the most part.
Looking to the left of Henry Tabor, but does not have the speed or the momentum.
Yeah, we have Ben Fior in the back by himself, but that's kind of the only real 3 wide incident here. Everybody else is 2x2, and that's sort of letting DaCosta stay by himself. Tyson Gifford's still up here.
Sunby was still 5 seconds or 5.2 seconds, sorry, for that second pack. So it does not look like they're catching anymore. They got too disorganized and went too wide.
And a good run for Brody Kupski right now. He's running in 7th position. He started this race second to last in 14th, working his way all the way up inside the top 10. That'll be a nice starting spot in the Daytona 500 if he can hold on.
Amazing job by him.
Keep an eye on the 20 and the 8 car. They're teammates. Let's see if they end up working together to get to the front of this while this race winds down.
Both members of
As
Eagle
now we've got
Motorsports.
3 cars, single file, here on lap 25 now.
3 cars single file on the top. Here goes Tabor to the bottom.
3 goes low. Got the 07 with help.
Oh yeah, he's gonna get plenty of help on the
Tire
bottom.
line. Tabor to the point.
But is he clear of the 3? That's the big thing.
Oh, look at Michelini.
He's got all the
He goes
help.
all the way to the bottom of the track, and he's got help on the bottom too. This could get dicey.
He might make it 3 wide.
He will.
We do have 3 wide for second.
For second place.
Tabor's
Oh,
got too many lanes to
the
block
40 got a
now.
little bit loose there.
DaCosta's going to lose some speed here on the top line. He'll cycle to the back.
Guy's getting real racy.
Henry Tabor is going to
The
take the
second
race
pack is
lead.
knocked off at 10th.
Michelini still looking for the lead. The 43 not exactly clear of that jet blue car.
A side-by-side still for the
Oh,
lead.
Brody
We got
Kupski,
2
he's got a
sets.
bit of a push on the bottom now from Andrew Anderson and Ben Fior. That bottom line, they've got all kinds of momentum, all kinds of cars.
Inside
Anybody
lane
who
has
made
a
a
run.
move, makes a move to the bottom and is able to get a push like that.
The 3 wide back there looks like.
And that second pack is coming.
Yeah, that second pack is
quickly.
definitely
They
making
are cutting that
up ground.
deficit.
But we're on lap 26. Not too many laps left in this race. Under 10 to go.
That's true. They'd have to make up about a second per lap.
Yeah, they'd really have to make up a lot of time here, or hope that some of these guys wreck and a caution comes out.
So right now it's really up to these guys in this first pack to see who's going to win this race. Is a big push.
They're 2x2
This
right
race,
now.
of course, will set the outside line for the Daytona 500.
And again, everybody keeping it clean, everybody keeping it incident free for the most part, which is good. You know, it might not be the most entertaining thing in the world, but you want to have a clean car for the Daytona 500. That's our first points paying race of the year. That's our first time
We
we're
got
going to
some
see
anxious
all
car
30
owners,
cars
but-
together on the track at the same time. So
And I don't think we'll see a single car owner smile until the checkered flag flies.
You got that right.
43 and the 52 currently leading both of these lanes as we're coming to lap number 28 here at the second duel.
Henry Tabor has definitely been one of the most consistent drivers so far this weekend. He qualified 3rd for this duel.
The 20 of Kupski washed up and Anderson looked inside, but Kupski was able to get down in time. However, we're probably going to have a 3-wide race to the finish here with 4 laps to go.
Well,
Starting
we'll
to shape
see
up probably in the next couple of laps.
That would be the
Let's see
assumption.
Who's willing to take it 3 wide? Who's willing to take it 3 wide to risk their car to have a higher position at the Daytona 500?
And soon, we're going to find out who will sit on the outside pole for the big race to kick off the start of the NASCAR NBC or ASRA NBC Cup Series season.
Not
Sorry,
NASCAR.
we no longer have
That's
NASCAR
fine.
in the name.
That's fine.
I had to slap myself. It's okay.
Henry Tabor right now in front. Nick Michelini
The
to
bottom lane's a
the
little
bottom.
more organized.
We'll see if these guys can get a push and if they can somehow try and force the 43 out of line. That's probably going to be their best bet, is to stay in line and maybe try to force Tabor out of line so that they can get a
We've
run
got
on the
3
bottom.
wide in that second pack, which
I was about to say that. I don't know if you guys saw
blows
that. but
away
there-
any wish of catching this lead pack. They'd have to be
So I think-
organized single file the whole
Yeah,
time.
you have to literally be
Right now,
single
that-
file, and they're just in V formation right now. It's not going to help
that
any of them
lap
out.
back battling for 10.
They're bird.
3 laps to go here in Xfinity Duel 2 at Daytona. Coming down to the wire in this one, trying to set the
Anderson looks to
outside
the
row for
inside
the
of
Daytona
Kupski.
500. Michelini
You're
goes
gonna
to
make
the
it
inside.
3 wide for 4th place.
Here comes Anderson. Looks like he's
Anderson
gonna
has help.
Jay Payne.
Anderson side drafts Kupski just a little bit.
Anderson in that GameStop Toyota. Looking.
Michelini's got to run on the bottom. If
He,
he can get around the 40 of Ryan New, he's got a chance. Oh, Ryan New
Michelini's
goes
a little far from
slightly
everyone.
lower to block. Oh, here goes Ryan New, making it a move in that Toyota Supra, and he gets to the inside of the 43 car. That could be a huge move for the 40 car.
And Anderson
Michelini gets shuffled out by Anderson. Those 3 cars on the bottom towards the back of the front pack
31.
have momentum.
Lap 31.
Ryan New looking to take the lead
Ryan
here.
New is going to take the race lead. 2 laps to go here at Daytona.
PJ Payne
Oh, he's not
all
quite clear. They're
alone on the
3 wide
inside
behind
lane.
them for, I think, 3rd.
Side drafting Anderson.
Oh, we're gonna have a really good finish.
Oh, yeah, PJ Payne, the pole sitter in this one. He's worked his way back up here to the front. This is going to be a really exciting finish here.
If they can keep it sorted, that is.
PJ
Exactly.
Payne is to the inside of the 40 car, but he
Tyson
might have
Gifford
to
looking
wait
to the bottom.
until
He
the
gives
exit of the
PJ Payne a
corner.
push. Ryan New
Payne has
is going to be in
help.
a pretty good spot, but Henry Tabor's still quite barely out in front. Into
Michelini
turn 4,
trying
white
to
flag
slot
this
in.
time by.
And he will slot in front of Brody Kupski.
1 lap to go here at Daytona in duel number 2. This is going to set the outside row for the Daytona 500. Ryan New has, I'd say, the advantage, but right now Henry Tabor is barely in front. They're side
Going
by
from
side
turn
for
1
the
to
lead
turn
going
2
into turn
for the
2
last time.
on the backstretch for the final time. They're going to be side by side.
That 40 car and the Subway Supra trying to win this thing as they're gonna be coming into the back straightaway.
Keep your eye on that number 8 car. The number 91 looking low.
I don't think the 91's going to have enough time. He's got to really get a push, but the 8 car with a fantastic block. Maybe he looks low. Maybe he looks high. 43 and the 40. They're side by side going into turn 4. To the
Into
checkered
the
flag,
tri-oval.
into the
Here we
tri-oval.
come.
Side by
It's gonna be a
side.
drag race.
Coming to the line. It's going to be a drag
Oh,
race.
finish.
I think the 43 got
Get
him.
it.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
finish.
What a
That
finish.
was
Might have been
amazing.
43.
100th of
Yeah,
a second between him and the 43. Henry
Absolutely
Tabor, your winner
amazing.
in duel number 2, the Steel Series Ford.
What a race.
And they kept it clean. They kept it consistent. They kept it nice off each
I
other.
know I
off
talked
the
about
ball.
the anxiety of car owners earlier, but that last lap sent all of their heart rates to the moon and back.
I think the anxiety in the booth definitely rose a few notches there at the end.
just a little bit.
I was kind of thinking that
fantastic.
I was thinking maybe we were going to get a side-by-side photo finish. We just about had it, 100th of a second.
I would call that a photo finish for NR 2003. We've got Henry Tabor will lead the field on the outside lane to green, followed by Ryan New,
And an
PJ
extra
Payne,
little
Andrew
victory
Anderson,
lap
Tyson
for,
Gifford, Brody Kupski, and Andrew Anderson just decided to stick with him this time.
Just a little bit of a victory lap here at Daytona. So it's going to be Roberto Crown Jr. will have the pole, and Henry Tabor will join him on the front row of the Great American Race. Let's go ahead and go back and take a look at that finish, though. That was fun.
Let's get a helicopter look at this, though.
Yeah, we will. We're coming back to the checkered flag right here. There's a 43. Man, I got to tell you what. I think the 40 car just ran out of track. I think if he had a little bit...
If this was Talladega.
Yeah, I think if he had just a little bit more...
Oh, man.
Oh, my
Look at
goodness.
that.
That is tight.
Got hair standing on end and got goosebumps.
Here, look at that rear chase.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
Oh, yes.
Literally
that
a
is
bumper.
fantastic.
That is an all-time photo right there, ladies and gents.
What are we looking
Kyle
forward
Larson
to?
acting here.
Oh, you didn't have to bring that one up.
Yeah, I got to tell you, man,
Fantastic race.
if that 40 had just a little bit more track out in front of him, I think he was taking that checkered flag, but he just barely ran out of time. Great effort from both of these guys.
Congratulations to the 43 of Henry Tabor.
Let's go ahead and take a look at our
Fantastic
finishing results.
finish.
Henry Tabor with the win. Ryan New finishing in second, just barely. PJ Payne started on the pole. He'll finish third. Andrew Anderson in fourth. A solid showing from him. Tyson Gifford in the 91 will finish in fifth. Brody Kupski, great. Again, I mentioned earlier, good run for Brody Kupski. He started near the back of the field. He ends up in sixth. That'll be a good starting spot in the Daytona 500.
Tough race for Blake Garcia. He started in 13th and didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, Blake Garcia, you see he finished 25 seconds behind the leaders. That was about as close as it gets. The official scoring, by the way, shows Ryan New finished 9 1,000ths of a second behind Henry Tabor for the race win. Honestly, for this game, that's about as close as it gets.
What a finish.
Another, unfortunately, not the greatest run ever for Connor DaCosta. He brings it home 9th, the Clash winner. We'll see what he can do from that area in the Daytona 500. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for the Daytona Duels, the Xfinity Duels here at Daytona. Of course, the great American race, the Daytona 500, to kick off the inaugural season of the ASRA NBC Cup Series is not far away, so we hope you'll join us for Daytona. If you guys like that race, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, tell everybody about it. We're looking forward to kicking off an exciting season of NR 2003 action. Follow us on all social media as well at ASRA Sim Racing on X and Instagram. But we'll see you guys for the big one, the Daytona 500, soon. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching this presentation of the Adrenaline Sim Racing Association.